how many hours are we into the 50-hour broadcast at this point, guys? We 30, something like that? 40. We're 40 hours in. 38. 38. We need to be exact here at InfoWars. And we have some calls that have been hanging on for a while. I'm going to go to Jason in New Mexico because he's been hanging on for quite a bit. As soon as we're done with that, we're going to go to a video clip. Then I'll be back on the other side to break down some more of this news that is so vital for you to understand, to know exactly what's going on in the world today. But Jason in New Mexico wants to talk about the First Amendment. Jason, you're on the air.
Well, I thank you for taking my call, and also to the crew and also the callers and everybody behind the scenes. Thank you guys for your service and your sacrifice, and we're all enlisted in this fight to take back our country from these globalists. Nevertheless, for a few points right now, all law is based on jurisdiction. Moreover, subject matter jurisdiction. And the First Amendment is more than just the freedom of speech. It's also the right to peaceably assemble, as well as the ability to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now, when these big tech companies want to censor you, Alex Jones, and all, Laura Loomer, and keep people from utilizing their services like PayPal or MasterCard, what they're doing is they're doing more than just taking away our freedom of speech, but they're taking away our right to assemble with one another to come up with, plans against certain things, whether that's good or not necessarily bad. But we, the people of America, have truly lost our jurisdiction, and it is evident that instituted governments and agencies have, gone rogue. So basically, that's just one point that I want to make.
Wow, that's great. Why did I keep you on hold for so long? Because that was just a machine gun fire truth cannon you just unloaded there. You're absolutely right, and the ability for us to get together and to find people with like minds and share those ideas and figure out how we solve this problem, that's what prevents violence from happening. That's what prevents people from saying, oh, there's no hope. The only thing I can do is go shoot up a place because I'm just so angry. No, we need to be able to assemble. We need to be able to peaceably petition, as you say, our government for a redress of grievances. That's exactly what it's there for. Hitting the nail on the head. Jason, what else you got? Keep going.
Well, it's kind of like that's what Alex Jones has done, and that's why he's not just a hero to me, but he's like a folklore, and that's why they're attacking him, you know what I mean? So he goes up to Rubio, and Rubio's like, dude, I've never heard of your site. But it's like, so are you asleep up there? What are you doing with my tax dollars? Because if you're not defending my right to assemble, if you're not defending my right to redress you in your face, quote unquote, by way of Alex Jones, then we truly have a problem. Now, people forget that many Americans renounce their citizenship in large numbers, which increased by thousands each year, starting in like 2011 all the way to 2017, 2016. Now, I wonder how many of those people were in Silicon Valley, Hollywood, or even our local and state and federal governments, kind of like Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. Have these people renounced their government and stayed in the government, renounced their citizen and stayed in the government to upend our values, our basic natures of survival, and most importantly, like the brilliant callers of earlier, it's an attack on God. You have these people coming in want to confuse our children at the earliest stage of development. First of all, we're the king and queens of our castle. So they've found a way to sabotage our upbringings, or not so much upbringings, but our values and our views by way of saying, oh, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're homophobic, transphobic. Wait a second. Words are power, and he who controls the language also controls the law and the learning. And what we need to do is bring these politicians, more so our Congress. People forget that they're licensed lawyers and also licensed doctors. If you want to bring them back to your jurisdiction, which is the jurisdiction of we the people of America, then we must make them honor their oath of office by reminding them of their bar number and their bond number in their jurisdiction.
Right. And I mean, it's to the extent now that, I mean, literally, if you're a kid in middle school and you decide you're transgender and your parents say, no, look, you're not old enough to understand what's going on here. We're the adults. We're not going to let you do that, at least until you're 18. Then, you're out of the house and you can do what you want. But until then, hey, we're in charge. And the government will come and take that kid away if the kid goes and complains to a teacher. So this isn't hypothetical anymore. This isn't even abstract. I mean, it's literally they are taking over our sovereignty over our own children, over our own lives. They're saying if you don't adhere to the same ideology we do, we will take your children away from you and, force you to accept our ideology at the point of a gun. Man, you're exactly right. Jason, anything else, man?
Sorry.
I don't know if you have a YouTube or something, but I feel like I can sit back and just let you take over for a little while.
Well, thank you. You guys definitely inspire me, but because of the censorship, some of the information is not necessarily too valuable, but I've been waiting for such a time as this. Now, one thing that I want to say is we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And many of the info warriors and right-minded people understand those basic principles. Now, when our government is not standing up to defend those basic rights of life, in other words, we have a governor that says we're going to keep the baby comfortable and not defend that life, then we definitely are at a point that where we, not violently, but we must declare our independence from this rogue, out of control. We could call it satanic or whatever we want, but when you don't defend the right of life to a life that does not have any defense, then you are uprooting every principle of this nation.
Nail on the head right there. You're absolutely right. So what do we do? How do you think we fight back? You sound like a smart guy. I got my own ideas, but what do you see as the path forward here, other than just as you're saying, just getting this information out there and educating people? What do we do to petition our government to redress the grievances that we have, to get back on the right track that says, hey, let's not kill babies? Is that so hard to understand? I mean, what do we do when we're faced with this absolute evil ahead of us?
Well, thank you for allowing me so much time and also asking such an intelligent question. What I will say is this, is that, well, there's an article out there that I did in 2015 that details more information about what I'm speaking on. It's called Republic of Me, and it was done on socialunderground.com. Now, nevertheless, I guess to sum it up, we are at a point where, how should I say it? How should I say it? There's a lot out there that we can do. First and foremost, we must be able to communicate with one another with our ideas. Now, I've done something, and I've redressed our government, and not unfortunately, but like your caller was saying about the sovereign citizen movement, there's a lot of information out there, and the government did go after a lot of people that was a part of that movement. Now, I don't want to say that I was a part of that movement, but I have over 10,000 hours in law study, basically, that says I've researched from a long time since I was 17 years old. I'm 38 now, on what is going on with our nation and how come the courts are so corrupt. And you hear things about, United States is a corporation and you're a corporation. Yet you got to be careful about a lot of that stuff. But the truth is that a lot of people don't know about the United States minor outlying islands are also Kingman Reef. Now, I've created my own jurisdiction, my own foreign government that's recognized by the United States federal government. I ran for president. I talked with the DEA, the Customs Border Protection. I have a ACE control ID and all this other stuff. But that's because the documents that founded our country are alive and well. And it's truly an attack on what our forefathers, instituted. And I'm one person out there that says, no, I'm not a sovereign citizen. But a lot of that information can get you in trouble. But I'm one that I've sat down with mayors. My local sheriff understands my paperwork. I have my own license, my own driver's, license plate. Now, because I'm free and they respect that. Now, I'm creating an organization called We the People of America that I've created an EIN number. Our jurisdiction is in Kingman Reef. And when it comes time, we will rise up and peacefully take back our government, because we, the people of America, have lost our jurisdiction, and I've discovered it.
Wow, that's so great. And even just the point during the break there, one of the engineers here was talking about how he was basically on a list of being a gang member, because that's what the SPLC designates sovereign citizens as. So if you just say, hey, I'm a sovereign citizen, or I'm free, or I don't want to adhere to these insane laws that shouldn't apply to me, well, then apparently you're in a gang and you get special treatment from the courts in a negative way. That's absolutely incredible, man. These callers are just getting better and better. Jason from New Mexico, anything else before I let you go?
Sorry, I was going to say there is a lot of crazy people out there, and just when you think about it, sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. I can't be sovereign and a subject of a queen or a king at the same time. Now, what's going on is they're trying to take away the nation's sovereignty because, truthfully, like I say, the one thing I've discovered is we're the United East States of America. But if you don't know that you have an estate, quote unquote, an electronic state, i.e. your social security number that engages you all in business, have you ever wondered why you got to present your birth certificate and your social security number to get a physical ID with your picture? Anybody could take in your birth certificate and get a picture ID, but they're not you. So these are the questions that started me on a whole nother journey. Now, I would like to be, one day maybe interviewed for a segment or so, and I could tell you about my history and how I came about such knowledge.
Well, that sounds absolutely awesome, and I'm definitely is that a good place to reach you? That website with your Republic of Me article, is that your website?
No, actually, my website is it stands for We the People of America.info, but it's abbreviated WTPOA. There you go. WTPOA.info. And
Awesome.
I'm steadily building it and working on it. Like I say, I've been waiting for this information in a time such as, like Jones says, we're under attack. And if we don't know this, then we're dead.
Absolutely. And you see all the crap coming down at us. Just you watch the news and you just see what's happening in America and the world at large. And for someone like me, it just overwhelms you. You just think, my God, there's no hope. And then you talk to somebody like Jason in New Mexico who's actually, doing it, figured out ways to fight back, figured out ways to maintain his freedom. And you just talk to your friends who says, "Hey, man, you didn't know they were conservative. You don't know their politics at all, but they have that spirit of America in them that says, hey, if they come for my guns, they better bring 11 people because I'm going to take 10 out with me." You talk to these regular people, or you talk to these people that have done their homework and done their research and been inspired to go out and understand what's actually going on. And man, does that give you hope in the future that it's not all lost, that the, false reality that they've erected around us is not quite as stable or sturdy as they would say it is. Now, I'm going to go to this video. Thank you so much, Jason from New Mexico. It's a fantastic call.